Hello, everybody. I wanted to give you a couple of updates about a few changes to the schedule next week and a few things just as reminders that we want to make sure that we're doing on a regular basis and maybe some hints in case we didn't know that these things existed. So first of all, our schedule for next week. So next week, there are a few changes in our schedule. I will be posting this schedule like I do every week at the beginning of the week on our Google Classroom stream. Please make sure that you're checking that stream on a regular basis. I post all sorts of things there. We have our little videos that we do in class, like when I put together our landmarks and turned it into a video. If there's important updates or information, if there's a change to the schedule or a change to the daily planner, if there's information about a certain assignment or perhaps maybe a Scholastic book order is coming out, all of that I just post to the class stream. So it's best if you check that on a regular basis. Same thing with our specialty classes, phys ed, music, and art. Very important that you check those on a regular basis as well. So I will be posting the schedule there too, but I wanted to draw your attention to a couple of things. So first of all, Wednesday is Pink Shirt Day. We will be talking about what that is, but basically it's a celebration of kindness and anti-bullying. And on that day, students are invited to wear a pink shirt with their uniform bottoms. If students do not want to wear a pink shirt to celebrate Pink Shirt Day, then they just wear their regular uniform. This is not a casual day. You must be in uniform unless you're choosing to celebrate Pink Shirt Day, and then you can wear a pink shirt. Okay. The other change to, I guess, a special thing is Friday is a casual day. So that's the day that you do not have to wear your uniform. You can if you want to, because casual day means you get to choose what you want to wear. The theme this week or this month for casual day is what I want to be when I grow up day. So you can dress according to the theme if you like, or you can just wear any casual clothes that you want. So that's Wednesday and Friday. Now on Friday, you'll notice that we also have an assembly first thing in the morning. So we're going to pop in like we usually do when we have an assembly. We'll try to listen to part of it and hopefully, fingers crossed, technology will cooperate. That might mean that our learning block 1 is a bit squashed, but we'll adjust as we need to, as we see fit. Also on Friday, of course, is Friday Friend Day, which it usually is. So let me know if you want to do Friday Friend Day before then. One more change to our schedule. If you look on Thursday, at the end of the day, we flip-flopped our afternoon check-in and our dear time. So I have an appointment that I need to get to by 3:30 on Thursday. So in order for that, our last meet will end at 3 o'clock. That will give me enough time to get to the appointment that I need to get to. And then we'll just put dear time afterwards. I will not be reading with a group on that day. Okay, so there's a bit of a switch there, just that the meet will be at 2:45 instead of at 3 o'clock, and then dear time will follow. Okay, I think that's it for our schedule changes next week. Now, a couple of reminders about certain things like Google Classroom. Lately, we've been having a lot of outstanding assignments. Some people are really, really good about getting everything turned in and handed in on time, and it's never an issue. And then a lot of people are falling behind on what needs to be submitted, or do I have to submit it again, or what's happening? So a couple of things I wanted to point out to you. This is not our classroom, but this is a classroom that I'm a student in, so I can show you from student view. First of all, this is the stream I was talking about. So I always post things that are important here. Make sure you check that on a daily basis. Classwork, if we click in classwork, we know that's where our daily planner and things are posted, but there is this button called View Your Work. This is a great button to check at the end of the day or on a Friday to make sure you've got everything finished for the whole week. Now, if we click that, it'll show you kind of in reverse chronological order an activity and when the due date is, and if it says assigned, that means that you have not yet completed it. Okay, you haven't completed it or you haven't turned it in. If it says missing, it means the due date has passed, you have not completed, nor have you turned it in. So that's a big problem. Assigned either means there was no due date or you still have time to turn it in. There's also another one that will just look like a check mark, like this, or it'll say, so besides missing and assigned, the other one that you might see is a check mark, which means that I've returned it, and it's good to go. You don't need to resubmit it. That's something that's been happening a lot lately, actually, is the only time that you need to resubmit something is if in the comment I say to you, oh, you missed a part, or please fix this and send it back to me. Otherwise, please do not keep resubmitting things. What happens is when I look at my spreadsheet of all the assignments that we have for the day or for the week, I can see who hasn't turned things in. I can see who's turned things in and I need to still check them. And I can see things that I have returned and they have a check mark. When students keep resubmitting assignments that they don't need to, I have to then go in and check them because it looks like they've been submitted for me to check, when in reality, I've already checked it and I don't need it back. So please be careful with that. I've been trying to leave comments about people resubmitting things. The only time you need to do that in Google Classroom is if it has a grade and you get it back and there's no grade, and it will just default to either assigned or missing if it's overdue. And then you know, oh, I got to fix it because she hasn't graded it yet. Or I will give you a comment about it saying you're missing something or you submitted the wrong thing, and then you'll need to submit it. But if there's already a grade marked or there's no comment about something that you need to fix, it's just been returned to you, do not turn it back into me, please, because then it makes more work for me that I have to go through and check it and ensure that it is done, and it is. So don't send it back to me. The only time you resubmit is if you were missing something and I told you that in a comment, or I did not give you a grade on it. All right, now we're back in our One Bouvier Google Classroom because I wanted to mention one more thing here. Now remember, this is the teacher view, so you don't see all of this, but just to give you an idea of how overwhelming it can be a little bit for me if things keep getting submitted. This is when I'm looking at a glance. I see if things are missing, I see if they're turned in, and I see if I've returned them. So you can see if something's turned in, I still need to check that, or I need to give it a grade. If something gets turned in again when it doesn't need to, it's just adding to this giant spreadsheet of work that I need to get finished, which is a bit tricky for me to do things efficiently. So it would be very helpful if you can remember to only resubmit something if it is pertinent for you, which means that you missed something or you didn't get a grade on it. Otherwise, once I've returned it to you, keep it. Don't return it back to me. Now, something else that I'm going to try to streamline is that we have students who are choosing to submit WRTR through Seesaw, and they are the same people over and over and over, which is fine. It shows up for me as a missing assignment. So if you're one of those people that consistently submits WRTR through Seesaw, I am now going to remove that option from your classwork. So let me show you what I mean. So normally when we check under today's date, now I've grouped these by the week, but you'll get the idea. When we check under the date, we have the daily planner and we have challenge activities. We might have something like a learning log, and then we have WRTR submissions. There's a handful of students who do not make use of that. And so it shows up on mine either as something I need to check if you submit it, or something that's missing if you don't submit it, when in actuality, you're not using it either way. So starting on Monday, if you're one of those students that always submits WRTR to Seesaw, you will not see this anymore. I'm only going to assign it to the majority of the students who do submit WRTR to Google Classroom. By the way, if you feel comfortable doing that now, that would make things easier for me. If you're still not comfortable or the pictures are too blurry and we found a solution through Seesaw, that's fine. Let's just keep it that way. But I will start only assigning. This will only show up if you always submit to Google Classroom with WRTR. If you submit to Seesaw, you won't see this anymore. So that will eliminate on my giant spreadsheet of work to do, things like missing. So Abdurrahman always submits to Seesaw. So sometimes if he does not turn it in, it's assigned as missing, or he does turn it in, but there's nothing actually there, then it's still turned in and I have to remember, oh yeah, he submitted it to Seesaw. So I'm just going to get rid of that, and then it's not going to show up anymore for him or for me. So I'm trying to make a little bit less work for myself that way. One more thing I wanted to mention about WRTR submissions in Google Classroom is that they're going to start coming back with a graded point on it. I think that's easier to know if you have corrections to do too. So I'll try to put a grade on everything. You'll notice that WRTR will be graded out of 4. That's just the 2 spelling test words. So the spelling and the marking of number 1 and the spelling and the marking of number 2. So try not to think of it as a percentage because it's not really graded that way. But if you get 4 out of 4, it means you got both the spelling and the markings right. Or if you missed one or other, I'll make a comment about what was missed in there. I'll still comment on your new words and your sentences, but the mark in that WRTR submissions in Google Classroom will be for the spelling words number 1 and number 2, both spelling and marking. Now, if we switch over to Seesaw, this is also a class that I'm a student on Seesaw. We have our journal, which is a great place to look through. And this is a great place to scroll through and check your comments on everything. It will also show up as drafts that are orange. So it's good to scroll through there to look for drafts. But even Seesaw has a spot for you to see. If there is an assignment under the to-do button, that means you haven't done it yet. It goes away once you do it. So let's pretend that I'm going to add a response to this. Hang on, let me show you exactly. So under to do, right now I have 3 things. That's why there's a 3 in a circle. 1, 2, 3. And this one that's called Amazing Beginnings, if I add a response, and let's pretend that I just have to write a word, hello, and I submit it, green check mark, green check mark. It's saying uploading, submitted, yay, it's in my journal, waiting for teacher approval. If I go back to activities, look, now there's only a 2 and it's gone. So your goal at the end of the day, at the end of the week, is to make sure you have nothing left to do in your Seesaw assignment, and that little number will go away, okay? Now, I'm not entirely sure if you get a separate one for drafts or if they just appear as orange, but you can always check the ones that you have finished looking under done. Look, there's that amazing beginning one. If I wanted to respond again because I made a mistake, I could come in here and do that. But really the one you're interested in is making sure that all the things in your to-do list are gone by the end of the day. If they're still there, you haven't done them yet, you need to complete them. Okay, so this light bulb is really helpful for checking to make sure that things are done in Seesaw. All right, so I just did a student view here in our Seesaw just to check and see. And yes, you do have 3 buttons in our Seesaw. The top one are things that still need to be done. Now, if you look in this student one, this is the read every day February. This is one that you're not supposed to turn in every day. So this one will always be in there. And once you start working on it, it turns it orange that you need to finish it. Now, if it's something that I've returned to you as a draft, it will appear like this, both in the to-do because it's something you need to do, and it'll appear down here in progress. You'll notice that this one is down here as well. So if there's anything that's returned to you that needs to be fixed, if you go to the light bulb and you click on this in progress, it'll be here. It's also in your to-do list. If at the end of the day you have anything left in here, you need to do it. It's pretty easy to check. You don't even have to scroll through your journal. You just come over here and say, oh, what do I still need to do? And what might still be in progress that I started and I haven't submitted or Mrs. Bouvier sent back to me. Okay, so very super important that at the end of the day, you check your to-do list and make sure anything's finished, or if it's got sent back, it'll have this green button and we want to make sure that we're finishing it. The other thing that's important to check is over here with the inbox. This is where there's messages. Now, if anytime that I share work, student work, that will appear over here as a message. which is important. The other thing over here to notice is called notifications. And if I click on that one will tell you a list of the comments that I've commented on. So if you're looking for something that I've commented or something that I've liked, you can just click on the inbox and notifications, and it'll tell you when I've liked your item or sent it back for your review. That's a draft, right? Or added a comment. And you can click those and it'll take you right to that activity. The messages one is where it's kind of like the principal's wall of fame, where I share work that our class has done that you might be interested in. The light bulb, again, that is the spot you want to check to make sure that everything in this to-do button is finished at the end of the day, definitely at the end of the week. The only thing that can be left in there is this read every day. Everything else, you want to finish it. And when you finish it, it pops over into this done folder. Okay, see that? This person, Mrs. Amira, she's finished all of these activities. It's done. It's done. Okay, if I've archived it, it just means that it's not in the to-do list anymore. So please, please, please make sure you are checking these things. You can save me a whole lot of time by checking your to-do list, making sure that you're getting your activities done in and on time, and that you're checking for drafts. Thanks so much. Okay. All right, I think we're going to have a great week, our last week in February. Remember to check the stream in our classroom for any little updates. I will post this so that we can remember our special things on Wednesday and our switch on Thursday, and then our special things on Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see everybody on Monday.